Hello and welcome to Augustana All Access. I'm Max JENSEN sitting in for Carla Metz this week. We have a jam-packed show for you this week. Football with another rout. The men's cross-country team wins again at the region meet, but first we take you along for the ride as the men's basketball program goes to Duke. Augustana came into this one as a heavy underdog against the #1 team in Division I, but Duke coach Mike KRZYZEWSKI says it's an honor to host the defending Division II national champion. The Duke Blue Devils opened the game on a 13-0 run and held Augustana scoreless for the first 4+ minutes of the game. Mike Busak led the Vikings in scoring with 11 points. Adam Beyer and Lucas Wolford each chipped in 9 points for Augustana. The true freshman Wolford brought the Augie faithful to their feet with a couple of dunks. Duke had 4 players in double figures led by sophomore Luke Kennard. He had 17 points on 7 of 13 shooting. From the start, the Vikings, led by Jordan Spencer, were able to get into the lane and had good looks from the three-point line, but the shots just weren't falling. Augustana was 7 of 29 from behind the arc and were out-rebounded 59-26. Duke showed why they're the #1 team in Division I basketball, forcing their way to the free throw line, shooting a total of 42 free throws to Augie's 6. They dominated points in the paint 36-18 and were able to get 19 second chance points. Although the Vikings were heavily outmatched from the beginning of the game, Augustana got respect from one of the best coaches in the game, Duke's head coach Mike KRZYZEWSKI.
Well, they should just keep doing what they're doing. You know, they were 34-2 last year, and you know they have an outstanding program, and they're really well coached. I mean, I watched a couple of their games in the tournament. You know, they lost 3 really good players. I mean, those kids could play in our league and be good players in our league. And I mean, your point guard, he had like 250 assists and 70-something turnovers. I told him after the game, you know, I was really impressed with how he handled that team. And they just need to get together, you know, and grow up like the last one. But that was sensational. They were really good last year, and they will be very good. They won't be as good as they were last year. You can't be losing those 3 guys, but they play hard all the time, and they play together. And they were just overmatched today with our athleticism, but not with heart. You know, they matched us with heart, and you just got to keep playing that way. You know, good kid, really good kids.
Augustana falls in this one 98-45. The Vikings shot just 31% for the game from the field and committed 22 turnovers, leading to 27 Duke points. Mike Busak led the team in scoring with 11 points. Jordan Spencer, one of 2 returning starters, added 4 points, 4 boards, and 7 assists. And although the scoreboard heavily favors Duke, Augustana will forever remember their time at Cameron Indoor Stadium. The Augustana men's basketball team has made a habit of starting their season off with some very tough Division I programs, including last season's win over Iowa and Iowa City. And by being the defending D2 national champs, the trend continues with the #1 overall team in Division I basketball, Duke. We thought we'd ask you, how many Division I programs has the basketball team played against since the 2004-2005 season? Your options are 8, 9, 11, and 13. We'll have the results at the end of the show. All basketball fans know the history that Cameron Indoor Stadium has. From the championships to the numbers retired in the rafters, Cameron has a certain mystique about it. And we'll hear from the guys on their first reactions to being on the floor. That story when we come back.
Augustana All Access on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and Classic Import.
The Augustana Vikings men's basketball program had a magical season last year. They went 34-2 and won the first national championship for the program. Fast forward to the offseason and a phone call from the coach of the preseason #1 team in Division I that gave them an invitation to open their season at one of the most famous gyms in the country.
The first one anybody this generation, in my opinion, thinks of, it's Cameron. You know, they think of this facility, they see it on TV all the time because they're on TV all the time, and their fan base is phenomenal.
Like, looking at the buildings and stuff, it kind of reminded me of like Hogwarts. It was definitely different than how I saw it on TV.
People tell you it's a small gym, and then you come in here and you actually see like you know, just the size of it, but yet how many people they pack into the gym.
The building bleeds with history. 5 national championship banners hang in the rafters. Countless college basketball stars have their numbers hanging in celebration. And not to mention the conference titles Duke has racked up, Cameron Indoor Stadium brings out the best.
The history, you can see there's great history here, and you know they've got trophies everywhere.
Oh, there's 309 Division II schools that wish they were here tonight. You know, I mean, it's an honor to be here.
Back home in England, I'll watch games like this.
To think that we can come out here and play against the preseason #1 team, you know, that's something special, especially Duke, Coach K, everything he's done.
Duke has made a point to host the defending Division II national champion, and Coach Mike Krzyzewski says it's good for basketball, and Coach Tom Billiter agrees.
This was a way of maybe putting the spotlight on the national champion.
What Coach is doing for basketball, for Division II national champions to get a chance to play Duke each and every year is it's a great thing for college basketball. He gets it, and I really appreciate the fact that he does this.
Yeah, it's cool that as soon as the team wins, we send out, and for them to accept right away is good. I had a great exchange with their coach, and it's just good for I think it's a good thing for basketball.
Augustana players know how special this place is and are thankful for the opportunity to showcase their team at the Division I level.
Not many people get to play at such a historic venue like this.
An unreal feeling just to see the big Duke symbol on the court and everything, so it's pretty cool.
I'm about to be out there and playing against, you know, some of the best players NCAA has to offer, so, you know, it's a dream come true.
Augustana men's basketball officially starts their season at the Southwestern Oklahoma State University Classic on Friday against the Bulldogs and play again Saturday against East Central, and they're hoping to use their experience at Duke to propel them to another deep run in March. When we come back on Augustana All Access, we'll check in on the football team and how they fared against Concordia St. Paul. Stay with us. Welcome back. Coming off last week's 1-point victory over Winona State at Kirkby Over Stadium, the Vikings wanted to get things rolling early, and boy did they ever at Concordia St. Paul. Augie would force a 3-and-out for Concordia St. Paul on the first drive of the game. The Vikings wasted little time, marching down 51 yards on 5 plays in just over a minute, capped by a 34-yard run by Trey Hyde. Vikings would go up 7-0. Concordia would come back and get a field goal to get within 4. The two teams would exchange punts after that, but the Vikings would get the ball at the Golden Bears 26. Hyde completes the pass to Trevor DeShepard for the score, putting Augustana up 14-3. The drive lasted only a minute and 45 seconds. Concordia, unable to get anything going offensively, has to punt the ball back to the hot offense. With 3 seconds left in the quarter, Hyde hits one of his favorite targets, Matt Heller, for 43 yards and the touchdown. That drive took all of 3 seconds. Nothing too exciting for most of the second quarter, but Concordia St. Paul would get in the end zone as Ron Johnson completes a 4-yard pass and the Golden Bears are within 11. But the lightning-fast offense of Augustana wastes very little time as Hyde hits Heller once again, this time 41 yards and another score in less than a minute, 28-10 at the half. Augie starts the third quarter with the ball and scores right off the bat as Hyde rushes in his second running touchdown of the game. The teams would exchange touchdowns after that, Johnson with another TD pass, and then Hyde with a 7-yard touchdown pass to Charlie Hayes. Score, Augustana 42, Concordia St. Paul 17. Then Johnson rushes in for a 1-yard score for the Golden Bears to make it 42-24, but Hyde answers with a 1-yard score of his own after this completion to Charlie Hayes gets the Vikings down to the 1-yard line, 49-24 visitors. And in the fourth quarter, Hyde would hook up once more with Matt Heller. This time it was of the long variety, going 74 yards on one play, a 15-second drive. 7 of the 9 scores were done in less than 2 minutes. They have scored in less than 2 minutes 30 times this season, and they go on to win this game big, 63-31. Trey Hyde completed 19 of 30 passes for 393 yards and 5 touchdowns. He now has 100 career passing touchdowns. Matt Heller had a big day, hauling in 8 passes for 250 yards and 3 touchdowns. In this game, he set a single-season receiving touchdown record with 18 and is now tied for the career lead in receiving touchdowns with 35. But that performance wasn't good enough to get him Offensive Player of the Week in the eyes of the NSIC. That honor goes to his quarterback, Trey Hyde, following his 8-touchdown performance. Again, Hyde completed 19 passes for 393 yards and 5 touchdowns. He also ran the ball 5 times for 37 yards and a career-high 3 touchdowns. He set Augustana's single-season passing touchdown record in the win. He has thrown a league-high 37 touchdown passes this season. The outcome of the game was never in question, but we met up with Coach JENSEN to talk about some key moments in our Turning Point segment. That's after the break. Welcome back to Augustana All Access. I'm here with Coach JENSEN, and we're talking another blowout against Concordia St. Paul. And Coach, this game was never in doubt right away. You guys took the ball right away. Trey Hyde scored from 34 yards out. Just talk about the game and how the offense was clicking in this one.
Well, we wanted to start fast. That's one thing that we really talked about all week, making a priority to make sure that at the start of this game we wanted to come out of the chutes and score quickly. And it just happened to be one of those days where they brought a lot of zero pressure and really came after Trey. And I thought he did a fantastic job of just buying enough time to let the receivers get open and place the ball really well and let our athletes go to work. So, yeah, it was a quick scoring event. A lot of those scores happened in explosive plays because of the pressure. There wasn't a lot of zone coverage going on today. And it's just fun watching those guys play when it's all clicking like that. It's a heck of a day.
7 of the touchdowns you scored in under 2 minutes. What kind of a weapon is it to have an offense like that? You mentioned that maybe the defense allowed that to happen, but just be able to score that quickly is quite unbelievable.
Well, it is, and you kind of get numb to it, Max. You really do. I've seen it so many times out of our players, Trey and Matt and Charlie and all the other guys. I thought our offensive line did a fantastic job. We actually ran the ball really well. And the times when we ran it, we were explosive runs as well. But you really get numb to it. You've seen it so many times over that I hope fans appreciate the gift that they've been given watching these guys play, because I do. And you really got to step back for a minute and say, wow, they're really special. And it's just in the moment, and by the time it's done, you look at the scoreboard and say, that's incredible. But more importantly, the plays that happen and the plays that are made are really special. And I'm going to miss it and all those things that go with it. But thankfully we got those memories and one more opportunity to make some more. At the end of the day, they're really gifted athletes and they're great men.
A couple of those, Trey Hyde, obviously we talk about him weekly it seems, but Matt Heller had a game, 3 touchdowns. He ties the all-time Augustana receiving touchdowns record. Just talk about his play this season and what he's meant to this football team.
Yeah, incredible. His play has been incredible. I think his explosive plays, his everyday plays, his one-hand catches, his ability to get open, his circus catches in traffic, and Matt's not the fastest guy in the league. He's not the biggest guy in the league, not the strongest guy in the league, but when the ball's up in the air, I'll take him every day. He's just a playmaker and such a competitive individual that I just love watching him play. And when the ball's up in the air and you see it jostling and what's happening, 9 times out of 10, he's not only coming down with it, but probably getting a flag and coming down with it as well. So just a unique bunch of talent that is bound up into one player, and he uses it to his maximum. So again, another guy I'm going to miss greatly. But what a day! 8 catches for 250, and just some explosive plays that really helped us bust it open.
That one's now in the past, and looking forward, we have Southwest Minnesota State on Saturday. Well, what do you like about the Mustangs, and what do you got to do to be successful?
Well, they're a dangerous offense, first of all. They really get the ball out of the hands quickly. A very, very good quarterback, an excellent offense coach team. Coach Sauter is a great coach and does really good things with his scheme. Frana, their offensive line coach, I think has really brought in some run game stuff that has been really good, and Brian's been super for them. So as we go through the week prepping defense-wise, it's a fast tempo, check the sideline, type of approach, and we need to be better at that. And then defensively, it depends on the week of who they're playing, what you're going to get. They like to pressure, but at the same point, they're sound in what they're doing on the back half. And so we're going to have to be wise with when we take our shots, how we take our shots, keep the ball in possession, and score as many times as we possibly can with the ball, because they certainly have that kind of offense that they can do it as well.
Last game of the season, maybe. Just how much fun has this ride been with this group of seniors, and what are you looking forward to in this game?
Well, it's been an incredible ride. We have the opportunity to win 17 games in 2 years, and that's a long way from where we started this thing 4 years ago. With this group of kids, they just believe in themselves. They believe in the program. They believe in what we're doing. It's been a joy, a true joy to go with this journey with them, and we want to finish the right way. It's a tough place to play on the road. They're 5-5 as a team right now, but they're 4-1 at home. Are the Mustangs? So we respect that program and what they're doing, and we got to make sure that we come ready to play. If we play our brand of football, we feel really good about it. We just have to play 4 quarters of it and send these seniors out in the regular season with class and style and a win. I think that's really important to get to that 8th win, and then who knows what's going to happen in the weeks coming, to be determined on Sunday, the selection of all the things that got to go down. So we can only worry about the things we can control, and that's a win at Southwest, and looking forward to it. And again, like I've said multiple times, I just want to enjoy every minute I can with these young men, because it's a really special group, and they're going to be greatly missed in this program.
But they've set the standard for what this program's all about for the upcoming athletes that you have and the incoming ones that you will be bringing in the years to come.
That's an excellent point. They really have, and the guys are feeding off that. They understand that the bar's been set pretty high starting last year already, and some of the guys we lost last year had that same tone, and these seniors certainly have held their mark to it as well. And these guys expect to win championships, and it's a fun time to go out, and we're the recruiting process is well underway, and our young players in our program will become upperclassmen here in the future. You're excited to work with the young talent as well, the kids that we redshirted, and what they're going to bring during spring ball. But like I said, this game is more about finishing out this season and seeing what we can become, and hopefully ending up 8-3 here and see what that does for us.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck this weekend,
Thanks so
Marshall.
much.
And we'll be right back with so much more on Augustana All Access.
Augustana All Access on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and Classic Import.
Augustana men's cross country is a 4-time defending Central Region champion, and we're looking for a 5th over the weekend at Yankton Trail Park. Augustana was paced by seniors Glenn Ellingson and Keegan Carta, who finished 3rd and 4th respectively. Ellingson ran the 10K course in 31 minutes, 4.46 seconds, and Carta followed at 31 minutes, 10.17 seconds. The Vikings men finished with 65 points, 3 clear of 2nd place Missouri Southern, who finished with 68 points. Northwest Missouri State and MSU Moorhead rounded out the top 4, and those 4 qualified for the NCAA Championships in St. Leo, Florida on November 19th.
Ever since I've been here, we haven't lost a regional championship, and it's just like it really means more, because I know that I've built off of what other guys have done in the past, and there's tradition to uphold.
It's tough in our region, because the thing about it, when you're at a regional championship, I think it's pretty easy to understand, but yet there's so many teams that are going to give you their best, and so we have to be at our best, or we're not going to be able to obviously qualify to the national championships, but also to try to defend our title. And now to win 5 in a row, that just speaks volume about the type of kids we've had in our program. So really proud of our men. Had a tough battle with Missouri Southern. They have a really good team, well coached, and so we're very lucky that we got through. But we feel awesome about our opportunity going on to the nationals.
The Augie women finished 8th as a team. Mackenzie Kelly, Annie Kraus, and Alana Seesow each earned All Central Region honors. Kelly was a top finisher for the Vikings, finishing in 9th place with a time of 21 minutes, 5.86 seconds. The women's soccer team was playing in the NSIC tournament, needing 3 wins to get the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. In the first round, the Vikings were able to get by Minnesota Duluth 1-0. The Vikings were outshot in this game 13-9 and 6-2 on shots on net. But Hannah Kierstead was able to break the 0-0 tie in the 28th minute, and it proved to be big and all that they needed. On to the second round and a meeting with the number 1 team, Minot State. Augustana took an early lead on Grace Bem's 3rd goal of the season that trickles past the goalkeeper. Minot State comes back with a goal in the 70th minute when Ashley Franco finds Kelly Crease on the 15th, and she puts the ball in the net for her 13th goal of the season. This game would remain tied into overtime and then a second overtime. Now in the 106th minute, corner kick for the Vikings. Emily Jacobson sends it in, and Rebecca Gasper gets ahead on it and puts it in the corner of the net. Game. Augustana wins and advances to the finals. This was Augustana's first win over a number 1 seed in the tournament. That set an NSIC Finals meeting against Minnesota State. And as we go to the highlights, the Mavericks were able to get the victory over Augustana 1-0. Minnesota State dominated with 9 shots on goal to Augie's 1. Dakota Wendell would get the goal for the Mavericks in the 70th minute to send Minnesota State to the NSIC title. The loss is a tough one for Augustana, as they were not selected to go to the NCAA tournament. The Augustana Viking volleyball team keeps rolling, picking up 2 more victories over the weekend. They traveled to the University of Mary and Minot State, hoping to keep their good vibes rolling. After picking up the sweep in Bismarck, they kept the heat on in Minot. Ashley Wilson with the kill. She had 8 of them on the night and 1 block. Bailey Cook with the block, one of her 4 on the night, and she accounted for 13 kills. Kelsey Kaufman with the kill, one of her 3 on the night, and the Vikings would take set 3, 25-18. And Augie would go on to sweep Minot State 3-0. Courtney Place was the Viking of the match as she tied for a match-high 13 kills, 3 assists, and 5 digs. Taylor Banks led the match with 22 digs and is 2 shy from moving into 7th for the most digs in a single season. She currently has 542 digs. Augustana will close out the regular season this weekend with a pair of matches at the Elman Center against Northern State on Friday, and then it's Senior Day on Saturday as they host MSU Moorhead. And now to this week's Vikings Vote question. We asked how many Division I programs has the basketball team played against since the 2004-2005 season. Your options were 8, 9, 11, and 13. The answer? 9. They have played a Division I program for 11 straight years, but only 9 schools as they have played Arizona 3 times. Again, men's basketball gets their season started with a pair of games this upcoming Friday and Saturday at the Southwestern Oklahoma State University Classic. That's the show for this week. Please join us again next Tuesday for another episode of Augustana All Access.